Hey guys, my name is Rusty here from Kubota Tractor of the Tri-State located in Northern Kentucky. We're starting a YouTube channel and this is going to be our first video, and we're going to do some videos every few weeks going over some of our Kubota equipment we carry here. And this first video we're doing is going to be on the SCL 1000 mini skid steer. So now you guys may ask, why go the mini skid steer route, especially when a lot of guys are running these full-size skid steers and tire machines? Well, these mini skid steers are super helpful in residential areas. Say you're a residential landscaper, you need to fit between some neighborhood houses that are real tight. That's super nice. A lot of these residential construction areas, and a really good example is if there's a walkout basement and you need to get in there to break up the concrete in that basement for whatever reason. This thing is actually only 36 inches wide, so this should fit through any standard door. Obviously, that's 36 inches wide, so that's going to save you a lot of time and effort being able to break up a concrete pad in a basement or inside anything that you have to go through a door. That it's going to save you a lot of time. And spinning off of that, I'm going to go into the width of this whole machine. Like I said, is 36 inches wide, and that's actually the narrowest on the market compared to Bobcat, Vermeer, all those guys. And with that being 36 inches wide, each one of these tracks right here is 9 inches wide itself. So that means 18 inches of this whole width is going to be track. And with those tracks being so wide, that means you're getting very little ground pressure. And so obviously when you're in residential areas, that low ground pressure is going to be so important, so you don't tear up your basically customers' grass and things like that. So along with having the lowest track width in the whole industry, we also have the highest lift height in the whole industry in this market here. So this SCL 1000 can lift up to 7 feet tall, and along with that 7 feet lift height, it's also a vertical lift. So say you're loading a dump trailer or something along those lines, that means that bucket is going to stay at the same travel height the whole time, which is super nice as compared to a radial where it's going in and out. And at that 7 feet tall, it can actually lift 1,000 pounds. That's what SCL 1000 stands for, 1,000 pounds. So that's pretty easy to remember. So Kubota's sounds like they've done a lot of right things, making this super compact but still very usable unit. Alrighty, guys. So I got a guest right here with me,
Hi, I'm Riley.
and Riley here is going to show us a few features of this SCL 1000 and show us some action shots of this SCL working. Alrighty, so Riley's going to demonstrate how to start this thing for us real quick. Just going to switch it on and click the little glow plug right there. Then after about 5 seconds of that glow plug going, you can go ahead and hit the start button right in the middle. And we're running. So now Riley's going to show us a little bit of what that vertical lift looks like. So you can see this little pivoting arm right here. That's one of the reasons that makes this machine a vertical lift. So an interesting feature about these tracks is they are actually going to be grease tension as compared to a lot of people use spring tensioners for their tracks. And these grease tensioners are actually used on the rest of Kubota's skid steer line and excavator line. So it's going to be interchangeable throughout the rest of the line. So if you're running a lot of Kubota construction equipment, you're very familiar with that. And if you're not, basically all you have to do, these two bolts pops off a plate and it's just a grease fitting right there. And you feel it to tighten up that track. So if something ever comes off in the field or anything like that, all you need is a grease gun and it can get you back up and running. So moving to the front of this SCL 1000, this has what you call a CII coupler. So the CII coupler is basically going to be the industry standard coupler that most other of these mini skid steers use. So basically all it is just a pin that you pull up and down on the left and right side, and that will allow you to detach and go into any attachments like a breaker, auger, power rake, kind of whatever your heart desires in that extent. The only difference in this industry is Bobcat uses a normal skid steer style 2-lever quick attach system, but Kubota does actually offer that as an add-on attachment. So if you ran Bobcat previously and want to use all your Bobcat attachments, you can actually buy that new plate to be able to run those. So now moving on to the actual hydraulic coupler, they're placed out here out front in a super convenient spot, so they're super easy to get to and hook up. And this machine actually runs 15 gallons per minute out the coupler, so that should be able to run any normal mini skid steer type of attachment like this breaker, power rakes, grapples, trenchers, augers. The um, the attachment world in this kind of stuff is pretty endless, so kind of whatever fits up these CII couplers is going to fit with these hydraulic flows. So now before we move up under the hood, just want to point out that this has an LED light bar right at the front. So if you're working out in the dark or a dark area, this makes it super visible during those times. But to get up under the hood, is a latch you just pull out. It goes up super easy. So at first it might look a little daunting that like there's a lot going on, but when you really look into it on the maintenance side, it's super nice. So right here in pretty easy access, we got the battery, and right next to that is going to be the air filter, which is super easy to pop out. And then your hydraulic reservoir. And this actually comes with a little stopper plate, I assume, so you don't mix it up with your diesel fuel fill up, which is directly below it. And then we have some filters in the fuel system right below here. And so all the maintenance stuff is pretty easy to get to, but the oil filter is actually in a pretty interesting spot on the side, which we'll show you guys in a minute. So this is what I was talking about a second ago. Is basically you pull this little bolt off and this panel comes out, then you'll be able to access your oil filter and stuff like that. And so that's pretty easy to get to as well. So now moving on to this operator station. First off, we have a nice little foam cushion for yourself, so just for some comfort. Then up under that, we have a nice suspension platform for you guys to stand on. So that's a pressurized platform. It knows when you're on it. And also when you're going through that rough terrain, it won't be beaten to death because you have a little bit of suspension with that. Now moving up to the actual controls, this actually has full pilot controls, sort of like your normal skid steers would. This left one is going to control just the movement of the whole machine itself. This right one over here is going to control the boom and the hydraulics. So there's going to be two red buttons on the front of this joystick right here, and what that's going to do is control your auxiliary and your attachments, kind of whatever you need on that extent. And then right here, there's going to be a little red button on the left side, and that is going to be your float mode. So if you're grading and you want that to follow your terrain, you would just click that and your bucket will float and help you grade. Then moving up to your screen, this is a full LCD screen, and you can actually put a password on it, which is super nice. And the screen shows you pretty well any gauges you could ever want. Then within that, it has maintenance schedules. You can turn your light on, and this is also how you glow it. Click a little button, which is super nice. Moving past that, this switch right here is actually going to be a safety. So if your boom is up in the air for any reason and your machine dies, so basically what this is this is a safety to get your boom back down to the ground while the machine is dead in a safe way. Past that, you have a nice little phone charging port as well as two cup holders, and that's going to be a pretty simple machine to operate. Like I said, especially compared to some others where crisscrossing hands, this pilot control is almost necessary. So it's super nice to operate these things. So that's going to be it for our first YouTube video, and also the review of the SCL 1000. So we plan on doing these about every week, basically just doing some rundowns of this Kubota equipment. And here at Kubota Tractor, the Tri-State, we're a full service parts delivery dealer in sales, and whatever you need, feel free to contact us for anything. And you guys have a good day. Until next time, I'll see you around.